supporting and recognizing Black at LMU because you can't be a university that prides itself on diversity and opportunity when there are voices being silenced and bodies being overlooked.
Hashtag Black at LMU is trying to make this campus better in honor of the Black students who came before me and for the benefit of those brave enough to come after me.
You are loved, you are heard, you are valued, you are cherished. You are the roar reverberating beyond the bluff. Hashtag Black at LMU, hashtag A Lion Cares.
Hashtag Black at LMU is having people ask you where you're from, and after you state some low income and minority city, they ask how'd you get here. That resonates the most with me because I come from Inglewood. I've never went to school with white people before ever in my life. And I come from a family that's low income. So when people like ask me like, oh, where are you from? And I'm like, oh, I'm from Inglewood. They're like, oh wow, like how'd you get here? And that to me is very offensive because it's as if people who come from these cities aren't able to achieve greater and aren't smart enough or intelligent enough to even get here. So it's like you can already see within that dynamic the class divisions that we have on campus just from the question alone.
Hashtag Black at LMU is realizing that there was a social responsibility set out in the universe long before I arrived to promote change and challenge the status quo. And that's really important to me because it is the driving force behind why I advocate for others and understanding that it's not about me personally, but it's about making a difference in the world that I occupy, in the world that we inhabit. We have a social responsibility to each other and to care about each other and to make sure that we as a human race are good, you know what I mean? So we can't just be complacent with the way things are. We have to continually be in motion and make change.
Being told in a sociology class that slavery was just involuntary immigration. We had a textbook. I don't recall what the textbook was called because this was in my freshman year, but I refused to buy it because that was the way that they taught slavery. Like that was the underlying narrative that they sort of put forth in the text, which then became the underlying narrative that was put forth in the class. And I felt like that was unfair and that was like a huge understatement of what slavery was. And the fact that, okay, even if you believe that slavery was involuntary immigration, that does not paint accurately the repercussions that we're still feeling as Black people in this country after slavery.
This is an American problem, like this is our society that we live in kind of thing. And yes, this is true, right? But we have to work with what we're given. And so I'm here at LMU and I'm working to make a difference with what I'm given. Like I'm not gonna just be complacent just because it's bigger than me. Like no, like my little bit of change is gonna make a difference somewhere. So if I have to push the university that I pay my money to make a difference, I'm gonna do that just because it matters so much to me.
Even though this is our broader experience of being Black in America, we still have to understand that LMU is in Los Angeles, in California, in America. Which means that even if we're only making change here at LMU, we're still making change. Like those raindrops in a bucket are sooner gonna fill that bucket than not putting any water in it whatsoever. So even if it's just the small little acts and the small things, like this is still progress. Mm-hmm. Like I think people like to think of activism in like the big, grand, sweeping gestures of protests and all of that stuff, but it's like it's in the small acts. It's in the little changes that we can make that make the biggest difference, I think. So that's why we're here doing what we're doing.
When it comes to activism, you cannot focus on those negative reactions because of the fact that activism drains so much of your energy. You can't really focus on negative energy to pile onto that because that's when mental health comes into play here. But I do think that with all of the positive reactions we have been getting from alums and from faculty, staff, and students, it has really been keeping us motivated to keep doing this and pushing us forward. So I do really appreciate all the positive reactions we have been getting so far.
Yeah, definitely. The support has been overwhelming coming from alum and fellow students of all communities. Mm-hmm. Like just the fact that people are able to say, I hear you and I see you and I empathize with what you're saying speaks volumes. Yeah. And knowing that alum have gone through similar things or even more drastic things than what we've experienced only further motivates us to keep pushing, again, because it's about understanding that like this is beyond us, it's bigger than us. what we're doing is in honor of those who came before us and will benefit those who come after us. And we are, like, it's not about us. It's no longer about us or our egos, because I feel like that's where we feed into, or where people tend to feed into the negative reactions, is all ego.
Yes.
And we're not focused on ego right now. We're focused on, like, the grander scheme of things. And just thinking about what we could do with the amount of the support that we have could be astronomical. It's just right now focusing on being rooted in our mission and staying focused on the positive.
Yes.
Right. And like understanding like this didn't begin with us, and it's definitely not going to end with us. Like the way that we're doing things now is bound to change in a couple of months, in a couple of years, within the next couple of classes that come through LMU. It's just how we're doing it, and so we do welcome, constructive input. And I steer away from the word criticism for a specific reason, but we do welcome input, and we do want to know the perspectives of others, because it helps us operate and maneuver and incorporate a lot of different perspectives, and that with those perspectives we only grow and we only become more knowledgeable with what we're doing.
I'm so for coalition building.
Absolutely.
So when there are other communities saying like I stand with #Black at LMU, that speaks volumes that this community is able to resonate with our experiences here and what we're planning to do for the university. But also when it comes to people from other schools seeing this and saying they stand with Black at LMU, it's just like we're really like it makes our change surreal, because it's like there are people from other universities and other cities and other states who are able to acknowledge what we're doing and see that as, well, maybe we should do this at my school too, because we're having similar experiences. So it's just like the feeling of just knowing people understand you and are feeling the exact same things at their schools and universities makes us feel like this is not just us in this fight alone. Educate yourself, because when it comes to activism, you need to know all of your facts. You need to know what's going on institutionally and what oppression is. And even if you're coming from outside of the community of the Black community, educating yourself on that culture to see if you can see that community being represented on this campus or not. So just being educated eliminates any ignorance there is, and can help your movement progress further.
Read your books,
Yes.
drink your water, know that you're not alone.
Yes.
Speak up
Inquire, speak
and get
up.
some sleep.
Tell your truth.